Tory Lanez, who thinks that he has found a way to cast some doubt, and I think in this case, because he's about to go on trial for allegedly shooting Megan Thee Stallion, I think he's found a way, or at least he seems to think he's found a way to cast reasonable doubt about whether or not he pulled the trigger during that night they were in the SUV. So remember, this happened back in July 2020, and now what we found out during the preliminary hearing, a preliminary hearing that ended with the judge saying, we're setting a trial date for Tory. But during that hearing, a detective testified that there is a witness, an independent witness is the way it was described, who says that there was an argument in the vehicle between Megan and her friend Kelsey. So we've known all along that there was a third passenger in the car, Megan's friend Kelsey, along with Tory Lanez. But this witness told police that this argument happened at some point before the shooting, and it certainly at least paints the picture that there was an argument possibly over the gun.
And this witness also had kind of hinted that Kelsey may have been the person that shot off the gun.
It certainly seems like what they're intimating.
Reminding
yes.
people that there was gun residue, not just on Tory and Megan, but also this third friend, Kelsey, that was there.
So even before like the residue conversation as well too, Charlie, to your point, the independent witness also points out that there was a muzzle flash. So like when the gun went off, the flash or the shock back that happens after that was closer to Kelsey than it was to Tory, according to this witness. And this is what a detective under oath testified yesterday. And then you have the information about the gunpowder as well too. So I mean, right now that's kind of where things are pointing, according to this witness. But Meg Thee Stallion also has spoken out now following headlines about, the back and forth in the SUV. And of course, there's been a conversation about the phone call that Tory placed to Kelsey once he was arrested and locked up, apologizing for something we don't know what yet. Megan is basically saying she's having to now relive everything that she went through that night. And the headlines aren't fair that are making her relive it. They're making this out to be, according to Meg Thee Stallion, a catfight between two friends. And she says that's not fair because regardless of what happened, she was shot and she was unarmed when she was shot.
Yeah, well, and there's something else that I think is really important here, and I think this is Megan's point, is that any talk from this witness or anyone about the argument between her and Kelsey, which we'd heard long ago that she admitted there was an argument. In fact, I think she's publicly spoken about the fact that what happened was they're arguing, and she said, pull over, I'm getting out of the car, I don't want to deal with this anymore. The point that she wants to make, I think, is she was shot outside the vehicle. No one's disputing that. So even if there was an argument inside the vehicle, the argument is almost irrelevant to the fact that she got out of the vehicle and then was shot.
Right, something else had happened. And she has always maintained that Tory Lanez was the person that had shot her. Of course, he is denying that, but there was also a separate witness, completely different from this one that spoke out, suggesting that it was the friend. And this other witness had painted a different story, saying that Tory Lanez actually had spoke to Meg Thee Stallion in the moment of the gunfire, saying,
dance, bitch, dance.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So, and I think Megan's side would say, okay, if he's saying dance, bitch, dance, and she was shot outside the vehicle, why does the argument between her and Kelsey have any relevance here?
And we have yet to hear from Kelsey as well.
And we also, too, a really important part of this is there's been so much back and forth between the two, Tory and Megan and teams and lawyers. Tory's team says they look forward to, their chance in court to actually ask Meg Thee Stallion about what happened that night from her own account. Some of the inconsistencies that they're saying, they're pointing out from when she first told police that she hadn't been shot, and she said that she did that because she was trying to protect Tory during the climate. This was right after George Floyd. So I think actually hearing from these two, Tory and Meg, on the actual stand is going to solve a lot of our kind of like vagueness of the testimonies.
To riot in San Diego, there's a whole protect black women, protect black men movement that I think are putting people at odds with each other when it comes to this situation. But I think the most important thing we need to do is to protect the truth. But at this point, I don't think we really know what that is. So at the end of the day, Meg's career is secure regardless of what the truth is. And I think Tory is the one that stands to have everything lost in the end. So we just have to wait and see when it's finally resolved.
Well, I hear you saying about protecting the truth, and I think that's why the judge said, after hearing all that testimony, the judge said, we're going to trial. So we will find out when that happens, when the trial starts. And it doesn't seem like there is a plea bargain in the offing here. Tory seems determined to go forward to trial. So he will have his moment We'll see what happens when that starts.